Good morning, Stampers. This is Becky Hahn at Becky's Stampin' Studio in Davenport, Iowa. And I'm here today for my Friday Fun Day. And today we're doing a really neat card that's called a pull-out pop-up card. And this is my original one. We actually did it in my stamp club. And what you do is you pull this insert piece and the card pops up. I think this is just so neat. Lisa Curcio, I believe, did this card, not this particular design. And I wanted to use things that we could still get. So this is the current Eden's Garden Bundle that you can purchase until early January when our actual mini catalog comes out. The stamps and dies will be available in the mini catalog. This cool paper, however, will not, and I forgot to grab it, so hang on. This is some of the most gorgeous paper, and it will not be available, and I don't have all the pieces here either. They have a little bit of a gold reflection to it. It is soft, succulent, and evening evergreen along with gold. So here's this side. I've used that on some things. Yeah, I don't have them all here, so you're going to have to enjoy them as I go. So anyway, I have done another flip card too that I'll share with you as we go. Otherwise, let's get started. Okay, so what are you going to need to make your card? My card is done with soft succulent. You'll need to select a cardstock base, and you're going to need and there's a lot of cardstock waste for this one. It's 4 1/4 inches wide by 9 3/4. Actually, I think it's 9 1/2, Becky. Long. Nope, it's not this one. 9 3/4. It's a different card. My apologies. So you're going to need that. The insert piece, which is this little piece that goes inside a pocket, is 3 3/4 by 7 1/2. And then the mechanism that makes this all work is a 2 1/2 inch square. Okay. And we'll talk about scoring here in a minute. The Ever Eden DSP then that we are using. Print number 1 is this really cool piece. And it's 4 by 4, and that goes on top. That's this piece here. From print number 2, which is actually the dark piece, you'll have a small piece that goes on the flap here, and then you'll have a larger piece. So you'll have, this is print number 2, I'm sorry. And then print number 3, my mom helped me with this one, and she decided instead of repeating this print, which is print number 1, she wanted to use another print out of it since it's so pretty. So we have a print number 3, which is 1 1/4 by 4. And the only other thing you're going to need, this little piece is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. It's for the sentiment inside. And that's all the room you have here, so it's not hanging out other than here. Once you pull it inside, you don't want to see it. And then some gold foil. And I have already, and that's 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and that cuts out this little frame that's part of the dies. And you need a piece that's also, and this one also is 2 1/4 or 2 by 3 1/4. Of white for the sentiment, and I'll show you and tell you how we're going to work with that. So let's get started by scoring. And will add my directions and the link to my blog with all of the directions at the bottom in the comments section. Okay, so to make this card, okay, I will kind of leave that there, move some pieces. Okay, so we need to do some scoring, and I have my old trimmer down here. However, I do have these scored. I did these in my stamp club. So you're going to take the bigger piece and you're going to slide it into your she said score base on 4 1/4. Doesn't look like I did, so we'll see what happened. Okay. No, I didn't. So we are going to have to do a little editing here. So we're going to score the base at 4 1/4, like so. And then you're going to turn it and score it at 1/2 inch on the long side and 1/2 inch on the other long side. And while you've got it there, after you've scored, we're going to remove some of the cardstock. So it says then score. Then we're going to remove the cardstock along the 1/2 inch. Okay, remove this piece. And then we're going to turn it over. And remove that 1/2 inch, like so. We're going to fold this forward. Let me get the trimmer out of the way for the moment. I'm going to set this aside too. So, this will get covered by DSP, so I'm not real worried. And then you're going to fold these ends in. This is the pocket that your mechanism will slide in. And whenever I'm making a box or I'm doing some folding in like this, I like to cut what I call a little wedge, clear out some of the extra bulk so it has a little bit more room to go. And I just eyeball that and clear that out of there. Okay, like so. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take my 4 by 4 inch piece of designer paper. This is the adhesive I prefer to use with my DSP. It's our old Dotto. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. I've got everything creased, and this piece I'm going to set aside. It's done and ready to work. Okay. Now we go to this, what I call insert piece. We're going to score it. Let's make sure I've done this one. At 3 inches. So in this case, I don't have my scoring blade. This is the older trimmer. I can get my bone folder in there or use your scoring blade or your score, simply scored, whatever you like to use. Okay, so we're going to crease that really well. We're going to add our designer paper. And this is the top piece. And there is no reason why you can't put a light either message or whatever. You could put images on this. I saw something very similar with another company where it popped up like this, and in here was a little pocket for gift card. It, popped up and ta-da, there's your gift card. This is kind of a halfway critical spot point. This is that little piece of white for the insert. And it's important you know where this goes. There is the crease right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cut edge and place this in the center and 1/4 inch from the fold. Not 1/4 inch from the DSP, but 1/4 inch from the fold, and glue this down. Okay? All right. So essentially that piece is done. Now we need to put the two together. To do that, we have this 2.5 inch square, and I don't know if you can see, but I've scored it. Score the mechanism at 3/8 of an inch on 2 opposing sides. So that's what I'm going to do. And now in order for this to pull halfway smoothly, we're going to break down these fibers. And so we're just going to, like you do using my bone folder, like you do when you're doing curling ribbon. And I do it all go in the same direction. I don't go crosswise and I don't flip it over. But yeah, you want to just do that a couple of times. Okay. Now I'm going to get my directions out of here so we can see what we're doing from here. You need tear tape, heavy duty, nice strong stuff, adhesive. We're going to put a piece, whoa, I'm strong, on each of these 3/8 inch pieces. Now I've got 1/4 inch tear and tape. I would recommend that. You could put 2 there if you'd like. Okay, so we're going to take our insert piece and our mechanism, and you're going to remove the cover from one of these pieces. Okay, you're going to fold it forward like this. No, I'm not. I'm going to put it right sides together. And I'm going to line up that cut edge with the tear and tape against the fold of this and center it. Eyeball it if you want to use your grid paper. I didn't do too bad. Okay? And give that a good crease. Okay, now we're going to work, I'm going to open these 2 sides. We're going to work with the base or the outside with this pocket here. You're going to slide this piece. I'm going to try and use my grid here a little bit. You're going to slide this in. You do not need to slide it in as far as like this. It's going to be, we'll have to take a look. I want to say it's about 3/4 of an inch. You're going to fold this forward, and this crease needs to be equal to that. See that fold that's just peeking out? Well, we don't want it showing, so I'm going to back it up just a little bit. So let's see, just out of curiosity. It's about 1 3/8 inches from this cut edge to this point here. Okay. I also do not have it centered very well. So I'm going to eyeball that, check it again, hold it down tight. Pull that piece of tape. Now notice this mechanism is pretty much in the center of the bottom base. And we're going to close the top and press where your tape is, kind of right in the middle. If you're too high or low, you better check and make sure you've got everything where it needs to go. Okay? All right, so that's what we look like at the moment. Okay, and essentially you'll flip this piece up, but not that far. You'll flip it so all you have is that little piece hanging out there. Okay? As Mom and I were working with this, we discovered it's kind of difficult. If you give this card to somebody, are they going to know what to do? So we discussed the need for putting a tab or a folded label or something down here so they knew. We also drew an arrow on one we gave my aunt. I'm going to grab the detailed trio punch, and there's a little oval here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, perfect. I inserted it all the way and centered it. And she said she's going to punch. And I think it slid back. It sure did. Best laid plans, right? There we go. It's all the way in. Sorry, I'm centering. I think my white cardstock's in the way. There we go. There we go. Oh, still. All right. Well, you get the idea. My bad. Should have tried it first. So we will, I'm going to go get a regular hole punch. Here we go. I have in my directions a handheld punch would work too. And so I'm wanting to go in far enough now. There. Okay. could use some of those reinforcers in the backside. All right, back to, you need to be able to get in there now. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to fold these two sides up and around, creating a pocket. And you need tear tape on both sides. Again, if you really think you need to have it held tight, you can put 2 layers on. I'm not, for time purposes at this point, pressure sensitive, so we're going to eliminate one. And we're going to pull the other. Okay, so see how it all is laying out right now? And then you're going to fold this up, smooth, and there's your base. Okay, now see if it works. Whoop, sure does. Oh, but it's not real fun to get back in. And we're going to deal with that. And the reason is if you look inside, there's that corner here, right here, that it's catching on. So we need to cover that up. All right. So let's take that 1 1/4 by 4 inch piece. As I said, it could be the same piece. It could be another one. We're going to pull this all the way out and flip it out of the way. Then take your DSP. This is probably the trickiest part of the whole thing. And you need to put it in there so it covers that corner and still has a nice 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then I get in there, make sure those corners are covered. And can you see that? So now that corner is covered, and watch. Now you can really appreciate it. It slips out and it slips in. Isn't that neat? Okay, so how to finish? Okay. Well, my little fiasco with my pull tab there. I have some words that say pull. Like I said, you could do a little, I guess you could probably have pulled it out, it looks like, and done your thing. I also grabbed the Label Me Fancy punch because it's got a slit here, but for this width of card, it did not work. It wouldn't fit. So we'll put a neat little, just wanted to make you aware that your recipient may not know. I don't want to pull that too tight. See, you can't even tell. Yay! Sometimes boo-boos work out. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so to finish this, let me show you what I did. First of all, let me share with you the stamp set, which is Eden's Garden. It is a pre-order, so you can get it now. Oh, hello. I have a rogue stamp. But there are actually 5 dies. The one that I used for the little frame around it. So you have this nice big wreath. It works really nicely. You have a border that I used. You have a label, a little piece here, and then this die that cuts out this neat little label trim, and the center does cut out of that. So I really like it. I call it a little sprig, I guess. So what I did is I took a piece of white cardstock. There's the word dear friend is actually in it, and embossed it in gold embossing powder. And then I ran it through the die cut machine, the Stamp and Emboss. And so then I end up with this piece, and I didn't keep it over here, and the little piece that goes around it. And then I went and cut out the gold piece and the gold piece. And you could do, you know, a negative, positive kind of thing with the pieces that you have left. And then I do a little mosaic thing. I reinsert this back in to that little frame, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then so it's easier for me to handle I like to grab a little bit of Scotch tape and hold it together where you won't see it anyway. And then I can work with it a little easier. If you want to pop it up, which I decided not to, this gives you a little bit more to work with. Okay, so why did I do it like that? I just think this is such a neat technique. If I just put the pretty gold frame and had the DSP showing through, how would you see the words, or what would you put in here? You could possibly emboss it in gold, but would you really see it? You might be able to stamp it in black or maybe even evening evergreen. I just thought that this was a nice way to still be able to see most of the DSP, use the pieces. I love the dear friend. And so I'm using some of my Stamp and Seal to put that there. Okay, I want a bow. I had somebody stop by to pick up some catalogs. They're here. If you need one, let me know. I usually have no problems tying bows, so I didn't bring my bow maker over. There we go. So I had a little tougher time remembering to grab everything. I was in the middle of my preparations, which is fine. You guys know I don't edit, and what you see is what you get. All right, I'm going to trim that. This is some of our open weave ribbon in soft succulent. Oh, let's see if I have any glue dots handy. Not right offhand. So I will just put a little. Now you might want your tails, excuse me, so that it doesn't cover that. All right, so then let's go to the inside. Okay, I have my evening evergreen paper or stamp pad. Sending Hugs is from the stamp set. You might want to do this. See, I'm going to have this little ledge here. You might want to do this if you've planned ahead, and I could have because I have. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And I decided it still needed just a little bit more. I love this border, and so I just cut a little chunk of border, and you can kind of decide where you want to cut it. All right. So there's that there. It won't catch on anything. And we close our pop up, pull tab, pop up, pull out, pop up. And I wanted to add a few bling bling here. Wouldn't need to. I left a little more space down here than what I generally do. So let's add, I add odd numbers. Where's my, here. I like to do 2 together just for fun, like that. Try to fill in where I don't have any gold. Let's see. Let's put one up here in that open spot. And one maybe here. Okay, there's 4. I'm going to use a smaller one, like maybe right here. And I'm finished. I don't know how long it took me, but not very long. And here's our, let me check what I call it, pull out pop up card. So yeah, now we've got this cute little tail that we can pull and it pops up. Isn't this paper just gorgeous? I was going to try one using of the Blackberry Beauty paper. Wouldn't that be absolutely awesome with the gold and that elegant paper? But it doesn't have to be elegant. Let me show you another one I did with my Penguin Place, my Penguin Pals. This one uses the retired celebration paper that's called Penguin Playmates. And I use the dies from the Hippo and Friends. And he's all stamped. I fussy cut the hat and the whatever. And I put a cute little one of our wonderful snowflakes. The snowflakes, the punch came and went. I think it's back in still. The stamp set, that will all be carrying over. And so when he comes out, and you notice the bottom piece here matches the upper part. And when he pops, see, whoop, and oops, I forgot to put something on the inside. Oh, there's so many things. And you can kind of see the piece working inside, and there's another little pop-up. So the possibilities are endless. It's a lot of fun, but you can see where you need something to do a little pull. So I thank you for joining me. I will try my best to do a card next week. I will tape it before, because next week is Christmas Eve day, and that's when I celebrate my Christmas with my immediate family. I wish you all well and a Merry Christmas, and I hope you'll give this a try. And if you don't have a demonstrator and would like to order any of these supplies, you could order from my website, which is beckystampinstudio.blogspot.com. Have a great day, and I hope you'll give this card a try. Thank you.